All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a video on how it seems like, or asking the question, doesn't it seem, or why does it seem that all women on this earth are getting on men's nerves, right? They're getting on men's nerves, and they're just wicked and demons, man. Right? They're just wicked demons, it seems. And the first thing that people say whenever women do and have a bad attitude, right, is that, oh, it's the men's fault because the man hasn't got this going on or that going on, right? But then we have to look and be like, well, okay, what about the men that supposedly have got it going on, that are in the world, that even might be Esau, right? Didn't the CEO of Amazon, didn't he get a divorce and had to give his wife billions? So because of some so-called infidelity. So according to what this world says, right, even if you're a billionaire, you're expected to have only one woman. But you tell me, someone out there has got to tell me then. Let's say right now, yeah, a man that's just ain't even really got no money like that, and he ain't got no money, and he's struggling to live in this world, yeah, and he can't handle finances to the best of his ability right now in this world. Let's say that he's saying that, okay, I want to have multiple wives, and people look at him and like, nah, you ain't got it like that. Okay, but what about a man that has got the money then? Is he allowed to? Is the law, are the laws in this society saying that he's allowed to? Or is it a thing where everyone's frustrated, all men in this world are frustrated that they can't do that because this world tells them that they can't do it? But the woman's allowed to do everything that she wants to do in this world, man. And if you ask one of these women, what is it that you want to be able to do in this world that you feel like you can't do? They won't have an answer. Yet they complain all the time. But if you ask them, what is it that you think that you want to be able to do in the world so much that you're so frustrated about that you don't have access to do? They ain't going to be able to say anything, because in this world, they can do everything that they want to do. And there's no restrictions on them if they can find a sucker that's got enough money to allow them to do these things. So maybe their main frustration would be that they can't make the kind of money that they want to have by themselves without men. And that's why you've got a load of women that are just running to OnlyFans and all these things, because they don't want to, women never really want to go the talent route in order to get money. They never really want to go the hard way route, or even try and go an easy route, with an easier route without having to use their body. They're always going to try and use their body first. You've got these female basketball players, Angela Reese or Angel Reese, whatever her name is, and another one, Liz Cambage, and they both basically want to be harlots, right? One ended up retiring because they was able to make more money annually from selling pictures of their body and putting their body out there. So she retired because she was able to make more money from that than from basketball. And if I'm not mistaken, she was considered one of the best players in the league. But they don't want to go the talent route, really. And then want to have the nerve to try and act like they're better than men, when men will go the talent routes. You know what I mean? Men are just way more talented than women, really, in pretty much everything. If we're being honest about it, pretty much men are more talented than women in pretty much every single category of life, to be honest with you. That's just the truth. But it seems like every single woman in this world, man, is getting on men's nerves out here. That's what it seems like. They've just became demons, man. Let me get this. Salakia for all the ranting. Amos chapter 7 and verse 17. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh, thy wife shall be a harlot in the city, and thy sons and thy daughters shall fall by the sword, and thy land shall be divided by lion, and thou shalt die in a polluted land, and Israel shall surely go into captivity forth of his land. And all of these things have happened to the Negro, Latino, Native American, because the Latino woman ain't less of a hoe than the so-called black woman. She's a hoe too. Let's make no mistakes about it, man. All you Latino, so-called South Americans out there, and that you know that the Latino woman loves and worships Esau, man. and she'll be having children with him, and hoping that she can try and wash off the being Latino South American thing from her line, man. As if it's gonna make her not be South American, so called. As if it's gonna make her not be a Latino no more. Or I'm no longer a Latina now, because no, you still are. You still are, mate. Right? The scriptures is clear that women are gonna be a harlots in the city, and that's what our women have become. If you go to any if you was to go to any small cranked off place to the side in over here in the UK, for example, you'll see some Israelite woman there sneaking off with Esau, man. Sneaking off. You know what I mean? But then they'll try and go back to the hood and try to act like, oh, I don't even like, yeah, I don't even, nah, you do like them, man. You women sneak off with Esau, man, and do your little thing and that. Yeah. So you can try and think you can live like the so-called white woman for the day and imagine what it would be like to be her. You know what I mean? But then have the nerve to try and be all up in our face and complain when a so-called black man dates a woman out of his nationality. When he does it, he produces one of his own people from that woman giving birth to the child. When you do it, you're producing somebody that isn't even of your own nationality. But y'all think that y'all are the seed producers around here, man. The so-called black woman's the main woman that really actually believes that men ain't this and men ain't that, right? But then once they start getting to the age where men ain't trying to holler at them no more, and they haven't worked on anything of their own self, they haven't worked on their personality, they boasted that they couldn't cook, and they're old and through, and their glutes no longer have got firmness to them. They're sinking, man. They become so old that their body just sinks in when it's touched. Yeah. Now all of a sudden, then when they get to that stage, old, now they want to start trying to, nah. You ain't built yourself up and did anything, man. You ain't built yourself up in any way. So now you ain't got no other characteristics to yourself. And then y'all just end up through. It seems like women are getting on everyone's nerves. Like a man that ain't got no money, that people will laugh and say, oh, he ain't got this and he ain't got that. You don't even deserve one woman. You don't deserve this and you don't deserve that. Okay. Well, what about the men that have got money then? What about that actor, Jonathan Majors, that he was running down the street away from his woman and ended up losing all of his Disney deal and all of that. Ended up losing being Ant-Man. Ended up losing being Kang from that TV show and all that. He just ended up losing everything because he ran away from, he literally, there's video footage. There's video footage of him running down the street from the woman. There's literal video footage of him running down the street from her. You know what I mean? There's video footage of him running down the street from her, and then still somehow he was the aggressor when he's running away and she's on footage chasing him down the street. But then when P. Diddy grabs Cassie by her hair and dashes her on the floor, everyone's like, oh man, he's an animal. But if there would have been a video of her doing that to him, you already know they wouldn't have said nothing. Because there's people that are talking about all this stuff with what Mr. Diddy Bopper's doing and that, yeah. And they're naming male celebrity B and all of that. But they ain't naming the female that was in there. And they know the name, but they're redacting it from the document. Why are you doing that for? Why aren't you letting it be known the woman that was in the room that watched as so and such happened to this person or that person? Why aren't you letting the woman's name be known? You've got women in this world sleeping with sleeping with 1,057 men in 12 hours. You know how disgusting that is? You know how gross that actually is? And then actually trying to shame women and say, don't worry, wives, your husbands used condoms, as if they're now showing themselves, don't worry, babes, I'm better than you are. But at least your husband used a condom. Like, you're a dirty hoe. And the women shouldn't even be bothered that, like, man, they shouldn't even be that bothered that, they should be bothered that their husbands went to something like that. But they shouldn't be bothered that that woman was, mate, nah. A woman like that's not of anything for another woman to be jealous of at all. And what women are so stupid in that they do is that they actually let these hoes trick them into believing that their life is the one that they should be jealous of, when the Bible's clear that whores, let me see if I can find it, man. It's clear that a whore envies a pure and righteous woman. You know what I mean? It's clear. It says it straight in the scriptures, man. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16. 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse. And where's it gone? Let me go back. This is 2 Ezra chapter 16 and verse 49. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman. But you women have been so simple in your head that you've made women trick you into thinking that their life is the one that's supposed to be envied. So now you've got women that are, or started off as trying to be right and honest and virtuous women, that they're now envying women that are harlots. And what they've started off watching all these TV shows that used to be going on back in the day, all these Sex and the City TV shows, all these reality TV shows, Jodie Shore, Towie, Love Island, and all these things with these dirty hot holes on there, all these 50 Shades of Grey stuff. You know what I mean? All these shows where these women are running back and getting with their hot lover that they used to be with, but they're still married, and they're sneaking off and committing adultery on their man. And they're like, oh yeah, that's the kind of life I want to have now. I want a life like that. You know what I mean? And now every woman on this earth's about that life for being a hoe, it seems. And it's not like, oh, a man that's of a certain stature, he can get a perfect life with women, because it doesn't seem like no man in this world is able to find any peace with women. A man that's poor can't find peace with women. A man that's rich can't find peace with a certain particular, these women that are of the so-called West, man. They ain't no man that can find peace. And that's why there's so many videos that are always going on about women, to the point where I made like a playlist of videos that I kept seeing and kept adding videos that I was seeing in there. And then I ended up stopping. And I think it might be around 300 plus videos that's in there, in that playlist by now, man. Of all the elders and the apostles and the brothers that have did videos bunning out you women, man. It's like 300 videos easily, and it could have been thousands if I would have, every single time I saw one, put it in there. It would be in the thousands right now, which would be like, if it was a video a day, that would be like 3 years worth of videos, man. That would be like 3 years worth. Like, you probably, if you was to watch every single video that's been done on women in the last year, you probably would be watching it for about a year. And then that's not even including all the videos that is from like the red pill community, things that they talk, that they see women from a completely different aspect, because they don't believe in the scriptures. Their opinion on women is based on all that red pill stuff, all that hold frame. You gotta have, you know what I mean? And even though them men are saying that they're so-called high value men and all, Kevin Samuels was a so-called high value man, right? Would have had a good amount of money, dressed nice, wore the right fragrances. He was tall. He was like 6'4", 6'5". Women thought that he was handsome, right? And he still was even dealing with having to deal with women running their mouth to him. Women that are 5'2", 200 pounds, talking about, I need a high value man, and I ain't gonna settle for less. And he's having to tell them that they're gonna die alone. You know what I mean? And they wasn't joking when they were saying these things. They really believed that. You understand? These women that look more like a man than you sometimes when you're walking down the street, yeah, they actually believe that they should be dating Idris Elba. Or this new actor that they're lusting after these days, man. This Aaron Pierre guy. You had all these women running around lusting after this guy, yeah. As if he's really thinking about them, as if he's checking for them. And then they all know that they're all lusting after this guy. But eventually, if one of them was to get him, which I think they said he was married anyway, on this thing I saw. But eventually, if any of them was to get him, after they've seen all these other women lusting after him, they'd actually think that he's supposed to just settle down with them only. When they would have known damn well that they would have saw women, other women that was lusting after him too, that looked better than they did. Women are ridiculous, man. And you're getting on every man's nerves. And then in the even though it's you that's the one that's the one that's actually the problem of cause of all of these problems, somehow you're always like thinking that it's everyone else's fault, man. Somehow it's everyone else's fault. And then you women like to try and boast about, oh, women, we deserve respect because we have children and all that. But some of you women, when you're pregnant, you smoke, you diet straight trash. You know what I mean? You're doing a madness. Some of you women are getting the cheeks clapped by not the father when you're pregnant, and you're actually thinking that you know what I mean. And then you've got women out here that they're trying to gas you women up and tell you that you're so good about yourself and all of that, and somehow all of them are just a queen, and your body's banging and you're this and you're that. No, that's not the reality that men see. Men don't think that all of you women's bodies are banging, because if all of your bodies were banging, you wouldn't need to be buying a body. And buying a BBL does not mean you're going to be loved by a man. That's not going to make you be loved by a man. You'll be cared for by a man based on your personality. You think if Rachel, after Jacob got her, would have just been a complete demon, that he would have been like happy when he got her still, and would have been happy that she had his children? No, obviously not. He'd have been like, man, I wasted my life working for this woman. I want another one now. I don't want this one. I'm gonna cast her off. And here's a thing as well. Since I mentioned that story, right? People would say now in this world that a man's simping if he worked 14 years plus or whatever, how long it was, to get a wife, right? But back then, that was not considered simping because the woman was worth the wait. Whereas if you was to work 14 years to try and get one of the women of this world, you know how many men they would have dealt with in that 14 years, bro? You know how many men they would have been with? Ugh. You know how many different men they would have been sleeping with, and then introduce you to them when you're walking on the street, talking about this is my friend and all that. And then he's all looking at you thinking, sucker. Yeah, I used to have them feet all up on my, you know what I mean? I used to have them feet all up on my shoulder, just thinking, you know what I mean? Because he's actually got a greater claim to that woman before you now. Now, this world's off. And all women all over the world are getting on men's nerves, man. Let me read this again. Like us, verse 49. Like us a whore, envious of right and honest and virtuous woman. These women are envious of women that are righteous. So what do? They've, in their demon minds, they've conspired ways to corrupt the women. I remember there was this guy he had this channel where he's in Thailand and he's got his wife over there and that, Zoom to Thailand, right? He's got his channel Zoom to Thailand, I think it was called. I don't know if it still exists or whatever, but Zoom to Thailand. And he had his wife over there, and then he was telling other Israelite men to come over to Thailand and come and date some of these women because they're more humble and meek than the women of the so-called black women of the America, yeah. And then based on him telling so-called black men to come over there, so-called black women started coming over there when the men from Thailand ain't asking for Eve to come over there. So why the fuck you coming over there for? The Thailand man, right? He ain't saying, "Oh, I want the so-called black woman to come over here and twerk." They wasn't calling for you to come over there, and the woman traveling over to a next country to try and chase after men. That just shows that you ain't. You know what I mean? You ain't it. Because if you was it, you trying to tell me that no men from one of the richest countries in the world would be trying to holler at you? I mean, the women from America couldn't have possibly been traveling over to Thailand because they wanted men that have got more money. No, they was trying to get at the men that would have been rich, that have escaped from America and coming over to Thailand to get women that are humble and meek. And they would have been thinking, I can compete with these because I can twerk and I got a big old booty. That's what the Israelite woman thinks. She really thinks that. She thinks it's long, but you ain't the only, y'all ain't the only ones that have got a big booty. Like, let's be clear about that. You ain't the only ones. In fact, y'all are the ones that have got the worst body shape on average right now in this world. One of the worst body shapes, man. Which is just fat. And I heard one of the elders say that most women, average women these days, they look like a gorilla with a glue wig attached to the head, man. And you know what? When I would have been maybe a teenager, I would have felt sorry to agree with something like that, man. But I've seen you Israelite women in my lifetime be fucking demons, man. And I agree with that statement. Most of you are not attractive. Looking like Antonio Tarver out here, man. Looking like James Lights Out Tony. Joe Left Hook Frazier out in this motherfucker, man. Straight up. And if you want to get angry and sour about it and say that I look like this and I look like that, okay. But some of y'all probably would look the same as me. If you want to talk about men's having, like, women have got the nerve in this world, man. Yo, women have got the nerve in this world to talk about men being hatfishes. Men are a hatfish. Huh? What are you talking about? You've got a hat made of hair on your head? You're a hatfish? The hell are you talking about? You're a hair hatfish? Hell are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? You women have got a nerve, man. Isaiah chapter 32 and verse 9. Rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. But they ain't, most of them ain't going to listen. And they don't think that there's any man on the earth that can tell them what to do. Like some of them, we've seen the footage. Some of these women are so arrogant that they're talking about they're Yahweh Shai's wife. Don't try and put that on the Lord. He ain't claiming you like that. What the hell are you talking about, man? Some of these women that actually said, I'm the Lord's wife. No, you ain't. You're a damn lie. You're bearing false witness, man. No, you ain't. Trying to defile the King of Kings and that. Damn demons, man. He ain't claimed y'all, man. The hell he's talking about. But that's the arrogance levels that they actually think that the only man that would be worthy for them would be the Messiah. That's the nerve and the level of arrogance that the average woman's got these days. They actually think that they're worthy of what the man of the elect is going to become. But while he's been going through the transition that he needs to go through to become that, they've been demons towards them. And they're actually thinking that they're gonna, when it changes over, then I'm gonna act right. No, you ain't, man. You're gonna end up done out here. No one ain't gonna be trying to look for some woman that clearly you can just see that's all she did in it before the chaos came was twerking. Wearing stupid ass nails that are about 3 inches long. Looking simple as that don't even look good. Like, I don't know what man told, I don't know where the men are that think that looks good. I've never heard a man say that they think that looks good. Couldn't they just have a normal manicure, man? Where they have the little white tip thing put on their finger and they have their nails cleaned and all of that and their nails fall down. That looks good. But the long talon thing, where have men ever said that looks good? Where have men ever been dealing with a woman and thought, man, them nails really enhance things? Never. That's not a thing. That's not a thing, man. Verse 10, many days and years shall you be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. And through the multitude of videos that the Hebrew Israelites have put out, man, that showed how big of a demons women are, man. Like some of the main videos that went viral that I've ever seen was some loudmouth woman running her mouth, man. Just acting like I remember there was the one video with the San Francisco camp, man, and there was this fat Edomite demon that she came up and she tried to run up on him, right? And she got pushed down on the floor, and then she still kept trying to run over, and she ended up getting arrested. She ended up getting arrested, man. Showing that women are demons, and even police officers. When I watch quite a few of these body cam arrests, right? And the police ain't playing with you women no more, man. They ain't playing around. Like there's still some cops, obviously, that are still give women somewhat of the benefit of the doubt. But when these cops are starting to run up on you, man, and grab and dash y'all down on the floor, they ain't buying that shit no more, man. Because they know what they've been having to deal with women in their personal lives, man. So men ain't believing just taking women's word for things no more. They ain't. And when all hell breaks loose, like women are not gonna be viewed as like something that's of respect out here. It's not gonna be like some of you women, it's gonna be your daughters that's gonna end up getting into the kingdom before you. Because their daughters will be able to humble down suit quicker than you will. So you've got some 18-year-old daughter or whatever that you've been trying to teach to be corrupt, right? And you might try and stumble upon a house and get in the house, and then now you're starting to try and look around the house and starting trying to boss people around. You got any water? You got any? This cup's filthy. This cup's filthy. Trying to actually be up in someone else's house making demands, and you might get your head bust, man. And the daughter might be like, "Please don't throw me out too, mister." And they'll be like, "Yeah, don't. You're all right. It's your mom. It's just your mom that's a demon." You know what I mean? Some of your own daughters are gonna throw you under the bus, man, because they're gonna know in that time that damn, my mom is a demon. In fact, some of your daughters right now even know that their moms are demons, but they're kind of, you know what I mean, trying to still, oh, but it's my mom though, because that black mama witchcraft is a hell of a spiritual warfare, man. That black mama, that black mama spirit, man. That thank you, mama, for the hard times you carried me through, all those pains and sufferings. That spirit, that's a demon, man. That needs to be purged off. Now that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to care about your mom, but that mama spirit thing is a demon, man. That Esau's used to corrupt the children of Israel, which was even in the Willie Lynch letter thing, man. How the mom would end up passing down all the witchcraft, pretty much. Verse 11: Tremble, you women are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the present fields, for the fruitful vine. Like all of these, man, all of them. And every now and then, like maybe every fortnight, definitely every month, there ends up being a phase of like a couple of days, man, where videos just continually kept getting done and spoken about women. Because a brother or an elder or an apostle will have had a sour experience with one of you cantankerous, wicked, hair-hatted demons in this world, man. Or even if the woman ain't got a hair hat, she could have actually been fine physically, but she was still a demon. Or they end up seeing a video of some other man's experience where he's had to deal with one of you demons, man. And then it leaves a sour taste and a stain in his mouth, and he's like, you know what, nah, I'm gonna vent about this. That's gonna be one of the main things that's gonna be a shock to the system to see in the kingdom of heaven. An Israelite woman that is not acting like a demon, that's actually acting feminine like a woman's supposed to act like. That's something that I don't believe we've really ever seen in this world, man. An Israelite woman that's actually a properly feminine woman, man. Like even when you see some of these so-called black women that they're bunning out things that Israelite women do, they've still got that Eve twang to their voice, man. And you girls, you need to. They've still got that in them. You know, even though they're saying the right things and all of that, but because of that voice that they got on them, you kind of, you know what I mean? They've still got that pride of the world in them. They've still got all the same appearance as the women that they're bunning out. The crazy colored hair, the eyelashes, their chest hanging out. You know what I mean? their pride in their voice and all of that. None of the women of this world really know how to be a feminine woman, man, but then they want them best men. And they're all getting on men's nerves, and it doesn't seem that there's any man out here that's able to find peace with the quality of women that exist in this world. It doesn't seem like there's any. So someone might say, oh, the rich man, he should be able to have multiple wives. And the poor man, he shouldn't be able to. And okay, fair enough if that's what you want to say. I guess that makes sense, right? But both men would still have to pick their wives or their wife or their woman from the same pool of women, which is straight trash. And you'd think that the man that's got richer, he would be able to have access to find a better quality woman, but doesn't it say a little leaven leavens the whole lump? And the whole of the pool of these women that you find in the so-called West, man, it's defiled. It's all defiled. And a woman that's a librarian and a woman that's just a twerk master, they both want the same kind of grimy man. Until it's time for everything in their life to be paid for and they want a retirement plan. You know what I mean? It's all over the place in this world, man. It's through. It's absolutely through, mate. And every single woman seems to be getting on men's nerves, man. Betraying their man. You know what I mean? How many times have we seen women say, why I used to be a Hebrew Israelite? And then the first thing that they're running their mouth about is, oh, the men was wanting multiple wives. Does it say that in the Bible? Does it say that in the Bible? You know what I mean? Because if a pastor or a preacher out there was to twist the scriptures in such a way to make it sound like a woman's allowed multiple husbands, yeah, you already know that women wouldn't be complaining about that. They wouldn't be complaining. Because any time that there's any man out there in the world that they're gassing women's heads up and making women feel like there's something special when they're not, none of the women ever tell him, yo, shut your mouth, man, don't lie to us. Like with this Derek Jackson guy. When it was clearly obvious that guy had more than one woman. It was clearly obvious that he would have. You know what I mean? It was clearly obvious, but you women just believe lies. You prefer lies to the truth. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. But when it's all said and done, that's the reason none of y'all ain't got no hair. That's the reason y'all are bald-headed, man. That's the reason why, for all you talk, yeah, about being the most attractive and your queens and all of this, yeah, where's your crown then? Let's forget all the games. Where's your crown? Because I remember I used to go to one, when I used to live in London, man, I used to go to one barbershop that was like, it was a barbershop and a salon. So it was a barber's and a female hairdressers at the same time, right? And when I'd be getting my hair cut from the barber back when I used to do all that skin fade BS and all of that, right? And I'd be looking behind and I'd be seeing how these women are getting some straight transformations, mate. With all that weave that they've been getting put on. Getting it tied and span around in the hair, hours on end and all that, right? And when they come into the shop before their hair would have been changed and had all the extras added onto there, they'd be humble, right? But then as soon as that changeover, then they're proud as hell. But that's not real though. But then they think that they can talk about a man's a hatfish. Oh, his hairline's receding under that hat. So when he takes the hat off, mate, that's a hat. A man wearing a hat and you wear, if you don't like hats, don't wear weave then. Or saying that a man's a beard fish. As if the beard hair don't really grow from his hair, from his face. You stupid idiots, man. The beard really grows from his face. You know what I mean? That's natural. His beard is natural to him. Just like how his hairline receding is natural. And the hat can go on or off. You know what I mean? But what about your receding hairline? Women love trying to say things about men that have lost their hair, but you've lost yours. Do you know what I mean? You've lost your hair. So how are you talking? Isn't that what's the term, man? Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black? You know what I mean? You've lost your damn hair and you want to talk when men ain't supposed to be rocking no ponytails anyway, man. You know what I mean? Now, if a man's got long hair or whatever to a certain degree, all right, that's none of my business. To a certain length, that's none of my beeswax. You know what I mean? But there's a difference between that and what you know what I mean, man. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 16. Moreover, Yahweh saith, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with stretched forth necks and one-ton eyes, walking and mincing as they go, and making a tinkling with their feet. Now, is that our fault? Is that my fault that you're proud? Yeah? Is that because of me why your attitude stinks? Or is this saying in this scripture that because you women have been proud, now who was you proud to? Who was you proud against? Wasn't it the so-called black man? Latino man and Native American man? Isn't it the men of Israel that you was proud against and haughty and walking with stretched forth necks against? Wasn't that who? Yeah, it is. Verse 17, therefore Yahweh will smite with a scab the crown of the head of the daughters of Zion, and Yahweh will discover their secret parts. And he is discovering you that most of y'all are hoes, man. Running around, using your body to get promotions because you ain't got a talent. You ain't got the talent to hang. So you're using the only thing that you know how. You're doing what you know best, being a hoe. You know what I mean? But then got the nerve to try and make it like you made big career decisions and, I got through with my talent. No, you never. No, you never. Not from no talent of what you should actually be making you be no sports newscaster anyway. Know what I mean? You ain't been reviewing sports like that. You're just running your mouth, saying whatever you've heard everyone else say. Oh yeah, he had a bad game today. Oh man, he should have really threw the ball in that net more times. Oh really? Because I thought in basketball that you're supposed to miss the net. Thanks for clearing out for me. Oh, he had a bad boxing match last night. He really should have dodged more punches. Oh really? Because I thought in a boxing that you're supposed to just let him smack you in the mouth until you lose consciousness. I thought that's how you win. Obviously not. You know what I mean? And that's what most women that you see in anywhere where there's money have got there from, man. From sleeping around, man. Let's be real about life. Verse 18, in that day Yahweh will take away the bravery of their tinkling ornaments about their feet. And that's what makes them even proud, man. That's what makes them feel brave and start getting their chest too high. Things that they can use to change their appearance, man. You know what I mean? When you see this one in particular, man, this Glorilla woman, right? If you see her without that makeup on, mate, fam. Nah, bruh. You know what I mean? Nah, fam. That's not the one, bruv. But with the makeup on, she'll think that she's just a star, bruv. But without it on, that's what's gonna make these women be humble, man. When they can't get access to these things, man. And I personally envision when it all goes down, man, that certain men are gonna destroy or loot and hoard beauty equipment, man. All that makeup stuff. You know what I mean? Because you already know that some with certain women, when it goes down, are gonna loot weave shops. You know what I mean? You can already picture Eve running through your local Ishmaelite weave shop and running through there. I need me. I always wanted to buy one of these wigs, but I never had the money, girl. And then they just run up and try, you know what I mean? Steal some £1,000 wig or something, and try, you know what I mean? And then they'd be combing it. Like the way how they actually treat them wigs is like how someone would treat a pet. You know, like how someone would brush their pet dog or something. That's how they brush that wig. It's actually a sickness in itself, fam. Straight up. And for all they're taught that they, and the thing is, women are them we're the main ones to try and talk down on a man's appearance, man. We've all seen it. We've all seen the so-called black woman love to talk down on a man's appearance, man. Call him this and that. He dust like when you hear Anton Daniels saying that men are dusty, where the fuck do you think he got that from? So-called black women. He got that from them. And when he says that stuff, he sounds exactly like one of them. Hey, they dusty. Make fuck all that. When men really get around other men anyway, the clothing thing, how much, what clothes they've got on, don't really mean much. Apart from if women are assessing it, when they're really just around each other, the clothes that they're wearing ain't really coming up that much unless they're thinking about how much women are gonna like the clothes. When they're just around each other, that they don't really give a shit, man. They don't really be, oh man, he's watches fake, or his trainers, they ain't fake, they ain't flyers minds, unless they're thinking about how women are gonna perceive it. But just amongst each other, it's not really who gives a shit, man. It's not really a thing that no one gives a shit about that. In a man environment, that's not really something that people give too much of a shit about. Unless they're trying to compare, oh, well, I've got more money than you, so that means I'm better. Really, that's not a thing that's a man thing that's done, man. Not really. Verse 19, the chains and the bracelets and the mufflers, the bonnets and the ornaments of the legs and the headbands and the tablets and the earrings and the rings and the nose jewels, the changeable suits of apparel and the mantles and the wimples and the crisping pins, all of these things that women was able to use to beautify themselves are going to be taken away from you, women. And then you're going to have to try and come with that same pride, looking like what you really look like. Antonio Tarver. Yeah? You're going to have to look like what you really look like in that day. You know what I mean? And it's not going to be very nice. In fact, you know what's so mad? Is that some women are so used to overly doing the makeup and the hair and the weave and all of that, that they have forgot what they look like for real. You know what I mean? That's how mad it is. Or they wear that stuff so much that they actually don't think that they look like what they look like without the stuff on. They think that what they really look like is what they look like with that stuff on them. That's how much of a witchcraft it is. That they actually think, oh, I'm not this woman that's got this lack of hair. I'm the woman that's with the weave on there. But that's like us as men thinking that we're a video game character that we've created, or we've got a character that we've made in an RPG game, and I'm not really myself in life. I'm really the character that I've made on that video game that's got 99 power level, and I've only got one more rank to go before I'm maxed out and I'm 100 level. No, you're not the character on the game. You're who you really are in real life. Yeah? And just like how men have to accept that we ain't got it in certain categories or in many categories, you women are going to have to accept that you ain't got it neither. But it's just going to take longer for you to know and figure out. And it's going to happen when all hell breaks loose in the day of the Lord's wrath. Verse 23, the glasses and the fine linen and the hoods and the veils, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink. And there's been women that are bikini waxers, yeah, and I've seen the videos a couple of times, but I'm thinking about the video that Apostle Tahar did, right? And it was a women that are going to get a bikini wax, yeah, and they're not even washing themselves. And I'm thinking, and the video is, I believe the video is called "Our Women Cannot Handle the Curses," and it's just absolutely disgusting that women would go and get a bikini wax, right, and not clean themselves. And the woman that was doing the video said that some of the women still have like dried like feces in their bum and that while they're getting a bikini wax. Like that's off. That's absolutely disgusting. That's an intimate thing for a person to be getting somebody that close to them, waxing them or their body parts like that, yeah? And you don't even have the decency to clean yourself. So you think that these women are going to clean themselves before one of their men from what they want to talk about their roster come through? Nah, they're going to be gross. Like us, some of us brothers, we've went to university and all of these things, right? And we got to see how much of a whores these women are, man. In university and that, we're like, ugh. These women are in easy mode out here. Just off, just gross. Women that have started university with a boyfriend, but before even the first fresh week of freshers is finished, she's dealt with like 10 men minimum in the halls. You know what I mean? Just freeing up the thing out here, man. Just disgusting. Now, when you're in the midst of that life, you're thinking it's normal when you don't have the eye salve of Yahweh on you. Basham Yahweh Shai, right? But when you actually realize what happened in them times, you're like, these women were absolutely disgusting. And that whole university thing is just a playfield for women to be harlots, man. That's just what they do. Verse 24, and it shall come to pass that instead of sweet smell, there shall be stink, which the cat's out the bag, that you mean ain't smelling too fragrant down there. You ain't. And that you've got, even some of you have got your moms to thank about that, because your moms never told you. Some of your own moms never even prepared you to let you know that you was going to go through your menstrual cycle, man. She never even warned you. She never even prepared you on what to do. She was like, oh, she'll figure it out. And then you was having to go through a weird day when you was at school, and just one day, you know what I mean? It happens. But your moms never prepared you for that, because they had their head so shoved up their own ass, they was so gassed up and worried about what they've got going on. But then, even though that happened to you at the hands of your mothers, you somehow trying to blame men about it. You fucking pricks. You know what I mean? Somehow everything that even your moms have did to you is somehow the dad's fault. Or if the daddy would have been around, then I could have told my daughter what it means to be a real woman. Why couldn't you have told her without him being around? Whether he's around or not, surely the mom should tell the woman, their daughter, how to be a woman. But the thing is, the moms didn't know. Verse 25, thy men shall fall by the sword, and I am mighty in the war. In fact, no, verse 24, and instead of a girdle, a rent, and instead of well-set hair, boldness. And that's the reason why you men don't have any hair. And you always, I've never seen one so-called black woman admit that this is the reason why they don't have hair. They'll try, I've heard them say, but the men don't have hair too. So is that because of their attitude? Well, here's the thing. Our glory ain't our hair. I can't grow hair no more. I'll put it out there. I don't give a shit. Like, I can't grow hair no more. You know what I mean? But in the past, I've had, when I was a little baby, cornrows and it, and my cornrows would have looked longer than what some of you so-called women have now. You know what I mean? My cornrows, my little cornrows that I had when I was 2 years old and that, yeah, them, them little struggle them little struggle cornrows were more hair than what I see you women have on your head now. And I was a 2-year-old baby them times. So let's not try and make it like you women aren't feeling the hair curse, man, because you are. You're feeling that one. And even down to the hair thing, you're trying to. But men have got receding. Black men have got receding hairlines, mate. Indian men have got receding hairlines. The so-called white man's got a receding hairline. Every man of every nation's got a receding hairline, man. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, let's be real. Like, the women that just shows women's lack of accountability, and we've heard them say it. We know we've heard them say it, man. And this ain't no one of them scenarios where you try and make women get out of it, man. Oh, but it's there. Nah. This is what Yahweh put on them. So if you've got a problem with them not having hair, well, you've got a problem with what Yahweh judged them with then. Yahweh decided to judge them with that. And if he didn't, imagine how proud they'd be towards you. Imagine if every single Israelite woman right now looked like what they're going to look like in the kingdom. Or just imagine they look like what they would have looked like during King David or King Solomon's kingdom, man. Imagine, but they had the attitude that they've got now. Imagine how proud they'd be. Because they're proud now. Thinking that they're all a 10 and all of this and I'm a this and I'm a that. And they're not. But imagine if they actually was the physical appearance that they thought they was, how proud they'd be. You wouldn't be able to get a word in edgewise, mate. Because you can barely tell them anything now. And the thing is, it's to the point where man doesn't want to tell them nothing. But they're thinking that it's because men are intimidated. We ain't intimidated by you. What are you talking about? We ain't intimidated by you. You're not strong. You ain't got hands and all that. You ain't just no warrior. It's not about no intimidation. It's a man would rather not deal with a demon. It's better to dwell in the wilderness on some Bear Grylls thing out here. You know what I mean? It's better to be living like Bear Grylls. That's what it's basically saying in the scriptures, man. It would be better to live like Bear Grylls. Yeah? It would be better to live like Bear Grylls on Bear Grylls, the island, than to live with one of these wicked ass women. And them TV shows, they're rough. But it would be better to have to funnel your water through a dirty sock. Yeah? And hunt things with a sharp stick. then deal with a wicked woman. That's what it's basically. That's what it says in the scriptures, man. And that just shows that a woman is a real demonic thing on this earth, man. That would be better to be on some Bear Grylls thing, man. Chasing chickens in the world and like having to hunt deer. You know what I mean? In some snowy, cold environment and that. On some or in some part, some like harsh, rough ass military training program. How all the things that they do on the military training shows and that. We're better to be living like that than with one of these wicked ass women. Say it, don't say that in the scriptures. Go on. Say it doesn't say that. One of you scoffers out there, man, you demons. Say it, don't say that. You simps, man. Because all you guys that you run around and try and beg it off, they still don't like you anyway, man. If you ain't got a rap deal, yeah, and haven't got a crazy rap sheets, they ain't feeling you, mate. And part of the reason why they like Jake to have that rap sheet is because if the relationship don't go the way they want it to, they're going to snitch on him and get him arrested and put in jail. That's part of the reason why they like that too, man. And instead of a stomacher, a girding of sackcloth and burning instead of beauty. And that's why y'all ain't beautiful right now. Y'all are burning. Y'all beauty's burnt up, man. It ain't pretty. Women that are pretty don't need to wear all that stuff on them, man. They'd have a thing called natural beauty. And they just, when they wake up in the morning, they would actually look good. You know what I mean? But the average woman, and I'm talking about all women in this, when I'm saying this, man, because this ain't no, oh, we love this so-called white woman campaign. Neither. Because they're demons too. let's not make all women in this earth right now are demons. But some are less demonic than others. Simple as that. But they're all really wicked, man. And every single man on this earth has got a story on a woman that's been a demon. Every single one. Now, women might say, oh, but we've got our stories. Okay, but you've also got stories of men that you've got in the friend zone. And why have you got men in the friend zone? Because you know that there's things that men have got within them, qualities that you think are worthwhile, but we ain't got no women in no friend zones. If a man ain't dealing with a woman in a physical manner, really, he doesn't really have a need to even bother wasting his time talking to her, to be honest with you. Not really. Unless she's women of his family and they can say certain things and, you know what I mean? They might keep telling him about a certain woman that they've seen being a demon around him. Sometimes they might do that. But for the most part, they ain't even going to do that, man. And her gates, verse 26, and her gates shall lament and mourn, and she being desolate shall sit upon the ground. Every single man's got a problem with women on this earth, man. But some are just able to hold it down more to where they don't vent it as much, man. But really, every single man, especially those that are trying to be able to hopefully elect, they've all got a grievance with the women of this world, man, because we would know that the women are supposed to be a way better quality than this. But when you're hearing women complaining about the quality of men, their own grievance is that the men aren't allowing them to have their fair portion of this wicked world. I don't want to have to work. I want to be able to get my nails done every single day. And I don't want to even have to cook. And I don't want to have any children. And I want to be married and I don't want to have children. And I don't want to have to go to the gym. I want to just be able to be as fat as I want to be. And he's got to love me at my worst to enable to get me at my best. That's what the average woman in this world thinks it's supposed to be. That they can just be, not have to do nothing and get everything. And that's why even the rich guy has got to watch out for these women. Didn't one of these artists, Drake, I believe, the story came out that he put hot sauce in a used condom. And then the woman used the condom and tried to pour his semen into her, whatever technique she used, the damn demon. And then she tried to sue him because he put hot sauce in there. Now that story sounds far out, man. But you could believe it though. You could believe that a woman would do such wickedness as that. Because women are wicked. Women are lying and bearing false witness, saying that men did things to them. And then it turns out that the woman would have 5 different semen samples in her underwear. And you're like, raw. That's a madness. But anyway, man, like this was just a video talking about, and it's a lucky if it seemed like a bit of a rant or whatever, man. But this is just a video talking about how it seems like every single man, no matter what their category is, man, whether if a rich man's got problems with women in this world, a poor man's got problems with women in this world, a man on an average salary's got a problem with women in this world, a middle class salary man's got problems with women in this world, right? A man that's in the truth's got problems with women in this world. A man that's in the red pill community, he's got problems. An Israelite man's got problems from the tribe of Judah. An Israelite man's got problems from the tribe of Benjamin, from the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Gad. There's just problems when it comes to with these women. But they actually are trying to talk and run their mouth like men are the problem. When the things that men are asking for women to do ain't even much. But the things that women are asking men to do are all the things that they don't want to have to do. And all the things that they want to do. So they want men to do way more than them to receive less, even though the woman that they're going to have dealt with is going to have gave up her body sexually to many men before they got with him. And he didn't, and the men before didn't have to do the things that she's asking you to do. Which is another reason why men don't take women seriously when they talk about all these crazy financial expectations, because we'll know that you have never even met a man like that before in your life. You're in the hood somewhere, yeah, around grimy two-third Jakes that have stick-up kids. And we expect you to believe, and you expect us to believe that you want a man that's got this and that amount of money. Yeah, right? You ain't even been around people that have got that kind of money before. Even them stick-up kid cats, they ain't even making money like that. They ain't even got it like that, man. But anyway, every man's got problems with women in this world, man. Because all the women are demons, it seems. Right? And on that, I'm going to say shalom.